Hafa Chamber members, welcome to another episode of the Guam Chamber of Commerce Chamber Spotlight podcast. My name is Chris Duenas. I'll be your host today, and I'm standing in for our esteemed president, Kat, who I'm sure many of you miss her soothing voice. But today we have our very own chamber member, Jenynne Guzman. She is the president of GuamTemps. Jenynne, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for having me.
So Jenynne, before we move on to our list of podcast questions that we want you to share with our members, tell our members something that most people don't know about you.
I would definitely say in this capacity, being a chamber member or just in GuamTemps in general, people don't know that I'm in the National Guard as a cook. So I kind of wear two different hats in two different worlds. So in the Guard, I'm a cook, and here at GuamTemps, I'm the president.
Oh, that must be a really good conversation starter. So when people find that out, are they asking you more questions about cooking or about business?
About business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jenynne, for joining us. I'm sure members are looking forward to hearing from you and the things you want to share. Let's start off with, so you're the president of GuamTemps.
Yes.
Tell our members a little bit about your journey, how you got to your position today as president, and what it's been like, how long you've been in that capacity, etc.
Of course. So I've been with the company for 8 years now. I just celebrated 8 years last month in August. I started off as an executive assistant, and then I moved my way up to office manager, then general manager, and then last year I just got appointed president and majority owner of the business. So our founder, Maureen Newman, she's in Washington. The reason why we did the split is more strategic for the business. I'm trying to get more like federal contracts in order to be women-owned small business or even veteran-owned small business. Majority owner has to be a resident of Guam, so that's the reason for the split.
Okay.
But my journey in HR started with GuamTemps. I was actually a marketing major at UOG, and I didn't like HR. I thought HR was going to be boring, and literally I thought of the color gray, which is funny because my walls are gray in the office and it's really pretty. But I love it. I love what we do. I love the human aspect of HR in my role in doing recruiting and staffing.
So if I could pause there,
Yeah.
maybe you're talking about HR and GuamTemps. Maybe tell our
Yes.
members what exactly is GuamTemps, what do you guys do?
Of course. So GuamTemps is a staffing agency. We staff for many types of clients, whether it be private, we have some government, a lot of federal contracting companies that come here. So
And when
we
you say-
provide personnel.
Okay, and when
Yeah.
you say you're a staffing company, these are your employees that you kind of lease out to
Yes,
companies?
exactly.
Okay.
So we assist with temporary placements, even direct hire placements, and then temp to direct placements or temp to hire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have like a fixed number of employees that work for you, or is that number like
It changes. It
fluctuate up and down?
fluctuates, yeah. Because just for an example, 2 weeks ago we had about 45 temps under our payroll. This week we only have 35.
Okay.
So it can fluctuate on a weekly basis because it's based off of the company and their projects whenever it ends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of positions do you staff?
All types. To give you an overview, I'll even list out some of our clients, and that
Okay.
kind of ties in with the industries that we service. So we recently had UOG. We were supporting the up or down with academic assistance.
Okay.
Personnel, we also have mobile, which is one of our biggest clients. We have one that does accounting, one down at Cavers Terminal, and even United Airlines. So we have one guy who's an IT contractor.
Okay.
So yeah, it doesn't matter the type of position. We would just pretty much post and recruit for the company, whatever position that may be.
Okay, so these sounded like white collar positions you
Yes.
just described. How about like any of the trades?
Yes, definitely. So labor is a big one. So we have a lot of general laborers on our payroll, and that could be from anyone that does carpentry, masons, or just basic general laborers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you have? I know that a lot of the companies, at least in the private sector, are having a hard time kind of retaining employees. Recruiting and retention is probably one of the bigger issues facing. Is it the same for you guys?
Oh yes, I like to tell clients that we don't have a secret ingredient for what we do. We just focus primarily on recruiting. So you can think of us as like your extended HR. So we're just assisting more so for you to find people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, and all your placements are local here in Guam, or
Yes.
do you do this for any places outside of Guam?
No, just Guam.
Okay. So you're the president of GuamTemps. You've been doing that for about a year now, after spending 8 years as part of the team. The ownership vests with you now,
Yes.
and you have about 35 people. Are they all kind of gainfully employed at the moment?
Yes, they are. Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned some of your clients. Any other clients that you want to mention on the podcast?
Yes, Xerox, Matson, Alliance Personnel, which is actually a staffing company in Hawaii, but we have one of their employees here based on Guam. We used to have 3M when they were operating heavily. DFS before COVID. UOG, we had GPA at one point as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and Gora.
Okay. So these sound like pretty good clients to have on
Yes.
your roster.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you don't necessarily manage these employees directly, right?
No.
So you are kind of like you said, the outsourced HR department. Is
Yes.
is that the right way to put it?
Yeah.
Okay.
People can think of us as headhunters.
Okay.
Really, we're just it's hard, and that's I think where we struggle the most is because we don't manage the people, right? But up front, it's an at-will employment, right? So we're finding people to fill for different positions. So it's up to also the client whether they want to keep them or not. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you hire them, so you have a team working for you?
Yes,
Okay. Now,
I
how
have-
big is your actual staff at GuamTemps?
We have 3 recruiters. I just picked up 1 bookkeeper, and Maureen, our founder's in Washington, and I just picked up an intern as well. So 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the people that are trying to bring these people, all your people in.
Yes.
Now, how do you go out and acquire talent? Do you guys advertise? Do you, is it all LinkedIn searches? How do you guys?
We use a variety of resources. I like to be smart with money, so I don't post ads. We use a lot of job boards. We use Indeed.com. We use LinkedIn. We use our website, and we reach out to our external resources like people at Anderson and Navy, the Fleet and Family Services. We reach out to UOG and GCC. And also just me being a part of SHRM helps with that aspect too. So I don't typically use funds to advertise the jobs. We can push it out with social media. Yeah.
And are you finding success with that these days?
Yes.
Okay.
I think Indeed is our biggest help when it comes to finding talent. Because right now people they look for jobs and they post a resume on Indeed.
So I know a lot of our chamber members probably also use Indeed.
Yes.
I'm actually like for example, if we have an opening, I'll receive Indeed applications. How do you, I guess, filter out if you're looking for someone, for example, to be an IT director? What's to stop anyone from applying who knows they don't have the qualification and they're just throwing their application out there in the universe anyway? Do you get a lot of that?
Oh yes, definitely. So the pre-screening is very important.
Okay.
So our team of recruiters, they go through a series of background checks, and we have pre-interviews. So before any temp is placed at any client, we bring them into our own interview process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is for GuamTemps? Maybe you're talking to a company who's interested in your services, and this company's maybe. Do you have like a sweet spot? Is it like companies with 25 or fewer employees, over 100?
No, it
so it's
doesn't
just
matter.
for everybody.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Now, why do people go to GuamTemps rather than trying to fill the roles themselves?
So a number of reasons could be. A basic one could be someone going on vacation or maternity leave.
So temporary need.
Yeah, so temporary need. Or just recently with the typhoon, CalPAC is another current client. So because of the typhoon, all the power lines went down. So CalPAC is, I guess they're contracted with like Docomo and ITini and GTA. So CalPAC needed extra laborers to just put up lines. So it could be like those types of positions where it's based off of what's going on in the environment, or if the company just needs to fill a certain spot for a period of time.
Okay. Now, is that kind of like the company's, I guess, core competencies, just plugging that hole temporarily?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, how do you attract these employees who know that is it the temporary nature that's attractive to them, or?
It varies. I would say we like to, the way we pitch it is it's an opportunity, right? And we let them know that based off of your performance, this could be a career for you, because we do offer the temp to perm conversion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then at that point, is it just you working with the company and saying, okay, let me just unload this employee onto your payroll now?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Let's see. We want to also ask for our chamber members, what unique opportunities or challenges do businesses in Guam specifically face as compared to maybe other temp agencies in other places?
Our population, and the biggest thing in HR in general is just finding talent, people that have the skill sets that you need to fill. I think our population just kind of goes against us because in the States, obviously, there's more people to pull from.
Right.
And the staffing industries back there, so we do it differently. They charge the employees for their services. Here, we charge the company. So we charge the clients for whatever hours the temp employee works. Out in the States, it's a little bit backwards. But I would say just overall our population size and the demand, which is kind of interesting because the demand is so high, but our population is this, right? It's like, how do we fill a big bucket with 2 small cups? And so it's just a constant revolving door, is just finding people with the right skills for the right attitude. Because sometimes they might look at this temp job as they don't take it seriously. And so having to replace and find a whole new set of talent is the struggle.
Oh, so what are there any specific professions or roles that you are finding that are really, really hot right now? Like a lot of companies are looking for, I don't know, IT people or
Electricians, masons, carpenters.
So
This
the
is all the
trades.
buildup. Yeah, trades, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and are these like the people for jobs inside the fence, outside the fence?
Both inside and outside. Yeah.
Okay. So Jenynne, you've talked about GuamTemps, your journey to become the president. Sounds like the company's thriving at the moment. What's next for the business? What's next for Jenynne? Any exciting projects, expansions, growth, opportunities or plans?
Yes, of course. So, what I mentioned in the beginning, the reason why we did the split. So I'm 51% owner, and Maureen is 49% owner. The reason for that is I'm going to apply for women-owned small business, veteran-owned small business, and Hub Zone. So I want to get us into the field of bidding for actual contracts ourselves, rather than just being the third party. So I want to be able to grow the team in terms of staffing for the big stuff inside the base.
Okay, and just be the subcontractor itself?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's the next step?
Yes.
And now, do you see any challenges along the way, or is it something that's in progress already, or just on the drawing board for now?
I want to get us into training and development, maybe partnering up with, like what I mentioned, with the laborers that need the skill sets, like the electricians and masons. I want to work directly with like other companies or other, like GCA, Guam Contractor Association, right?
Yeah.
Just try and tie in the things that we see as a void and what are they doing to help fill that void. So I would like us to get into the training aspect of developing the workforce.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have a leader with a strategy in mind. Yep. Okay, Jenynne, thank you for joining us. Maybe before we close, do you want to share any books, podcasts, resources that with our chamber members that have influenced your journey?
Recently, Siska. Siska was my mentor.
We just had Siska on the podcast right before you. Yeah.
So she definitely opened up my eyes a lot in terms of professionalism, just being a good leader. So she kind of stands out right now just because it was pretty frequent.
Yeah. Okay. And so before we close, maybe one last question. What advice would you give to a younger version of yourself? I don't want to say your 25-year-old self because you might be 27 and I don't.
No, it's funny that you say that because I was reading something about printing a picture of yourself as a kid. So I have a picture in my office of me, I think I was like 5 or 6 years old, and it's just me smiling. And so I constantly look at that picture when I'm struggling with something at work because it reminds me that I tell myself, if I were to tell that little girl, what would I say? And I would just say, you're doing a good job. You know, your hard work and your dedication has really paid off, but always to remain humble, right? I don't think you can go through this life without feeling a sense of gratitude if you're trying to give back, because you don't never want to come off. And that's kind of where I struggle, is the confidence aspect of it. I don't want to come off too strong. I want to be able to have people approach me. So I would tell my younger self just to stay the course, trust in God, and that you'll get to where you want to go.
All right. Thank you so much, Jenynne. Chamber members, thank you for joining us today. Jenynne, how can our members get a hold of you if they wanted to get a hold of you or get a hold of GuamTemps and maybe use some of your services?
Yes, you can call our office at 671-646-3541. You can call my cell phone, 747-3592. You can visit us. We're located at the East West Business Center on the 2nd floor. That's the Upper Tumambika Guam building.
Okay.
We're right below the Chamber's temporary office, and you can visit our website at GuamTemps.com.
GuamTemps.com. All right. Thank you so much, Jenynne.
Thank you.
Chamber members, thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next episode of our Member Spotlight.